This is lesson 1.4. We're working with functions now. And some of the questions that we can ask are, over what interval is a function increasing, decreasing, or constant? We can ask what the domain and range of each function is. And we can identify any relative minima and maxima. Okay, so let's talk about the intervals over which the function is increasing, decreasing, or constant. Okay, so if we take a look from our previous work with the slope-intercept formula, we know that a line that's generally moving up and to the right on a coordinate axis like this is increasing. Okay, and so if we take a look at some point x where x is 0 and where y is 0 and x is equal to -2 at some greater value of x, the y value will be greater. Okay, and so that's an increasing function. And so from -5 to +1, the slope of this function is positive and it's increasing. Okay. If we take a look from +1 to 3, we can see that this is just a flat line. Okay, so at 1, the value of this function is 3. At 2, it is 3. At 3, it is 3. So it's not changing. It's the rise over the run, the slope, if you will, is equal to 0, and it's a constant function. Y between +1 and +3, y is equal to 3. It's constant. Now, if we look at 3 all the way up to 5, we can see that a value of 3 at x equals 3 is followed by a value somewhat less than 3 at value 4, and at x equals 5, it's down to 1. Okay, so as x gets larger, the y values get smaller, and so the slope, notice this is curved here, so there isn't like a constant slope at any point here, but we can see that this function is decreasing. So from 3, x equals 3 to x equals 5, the function is decreasing. Okay, what is the domain and range of each function? Okay, let's define what the domain and range are. Okay, so if we think of a function as sort of a black box, we hand it a number, and it hands us, we turn a crank, and it hands us a number back. What we put in, the input, is called the domain. The range is what we get out. Now, if you think of, say, the range of your little Nerf ball tossing toy that maybe one of your younger siblings has, it's very easy to think of range as the output. And then we think of domain as what you can put into this little, well, into the function. Okay, so what's the domain and range of each function? Well, what can we put in? We have this line, we have this line here, and for x values, we can put in anything from -5 all the way to +5, but if we try to put in 6, and we look up what y value we have, well, there's nothing there. Okay, and so the domain, what we can put into this function, is from -5 to +5. What's the range of each function? What can we possibly get out? Well, these are all the possible y values, and they seem to range from -3 to +3. Now, identify the relative minima and the relative maxima. Well, okay, the relative minima, well, if we look around any place where we actually have the function defined, the minimum value right around here in this small neighborhood seems to be -3 at an x value of -3. So one of the minima is at x equals, at x equals -5, -3 seems to be one of the relative minima. Okay, over here we come up to a maximum value of the function, which is y equals 3 over a whole range of x values. And then again, there's a minimum here at the very end. Okay, so let's use what we've learned, and let's talk about increasing, decreasing, and constant for the second graph. All right, so I'm going to take a look here. Here's this first section. Is this function over this interval increasing or decreasing? And then what is the interval? Give you a moment. Okay, so from x equals minus 5 to x equals 1, this function is decreasing. It's got a negative slope. From x equals 1 to x equals 3, the function is increasing. And then from x equals 3 to x equals 5, it again seems to be a constant function, and that constant value is 2. And of course we can see where our relative minima and maxima are. Okay, I hope that helped with the fourth set of problems you're going to work. If you have questions, please make reference to the timestamp. For instance, if you have a question about something I said at 1 minute and 20 seconds, just reference, hey, you said something about 1 minute and 20 seconds. Can you please expand on that? And I will do my best to answer. Good luck.